Hello and welcome. Welcome back to RJ's Rapid Recap, NFL Week 16. I am RJ. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry about the hiatus. I know I haven't been recording as much as I had in the past. It's busy. Got a new job and everything. Life goes fast. Hopefully you like the sweater. Hoping everyone's enjoying this. 'Tis the season. Hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas. Hopefully you got everything you wanted, spent time with family, all that good stuff. Just enjoy the holidays. It's not all about gift giving, it's about being together with your family and your friends. So I am RJ, once again, and we will be getting right into Rapid Recap of NFL Week 16. So, first, who is legit in the NFL? Well, after 16, I think it's pretty fair to say that there's a few teams that really do stick out. Obviously, we got the Bills at 12-3. We got the Chiefs at 12-3. We got the Vikings. We're going to talk a little bit more about. They're at 12-3. We got the Bengals. The Bengals are on fire. They've won like 6 in a row. They're 11-4. We got the Niners, who are also on fire with Brock Purdy, who is legit. I mean, he really is. He just fits so well into that offensive style. Niners 11-4, Eagles at 13-2. They literally almost won against the Cowboys 34-40 with Gardner Minshew. Hurts was out. Nonetheless, the Cowboys still are an elite team. They are very relevant. They're 11-4 now, even though they lost against the Eagles. I mean, they won against the Eagles with Minshew. That's still a win against the Eagles. And I'd say there's two fringe elite teams, and that's the Ravens, who we got at 10-5. They're still winning games without Lamar. And then I'd say the Chargers, if they get a win tonight, granted it's against the Colts, but if they can move up to that 9-6 record, I'd say that they're a little bit more on that elite side. Nobody else in the NFC, I'll tell you that much. However, a team that's on the come up is the Jags, and the Jags are looking fierce. They're 5-2 since their 5-game slide. Trevor is just slinging the football everywhere. Etienne is also looking real nice. He just hit 1,000 rushing yards. So, and now the Jags are leading the AFC South. So that is pretty freaking wild to see. And now it's said that Week 18 will determine the winner, no matter what happens next week, versus the Jags and the Titans. I hope that's the Sunday night game to end out the year. That would be fantastic. Pretty crazy to see the Jags just come up out of nowhere and the Titans are falling out of nowhere. And in my opinion, if not for Travis Kelce, I would say Evan Ingram has been the tight end of the year, especially in the month of December. He has 31 receptions for 367 yards and 3 touchdowns. He is going nuts, and he is a huge reason why the Jags are doing what they're doing right now. Next we got the Giants. The Giants are such a weird team. And so are the Vikings. The Giants have been in so many close games. They were 7-2. And since then they've really slid quite a bit. The only game they've won was against the Commanders, and that was just a terrible call. Well, we all know it. It was obvious PI. The Commanders would have scored that drive, and the Giants would literally be 0-5-1. But they are 1-4-1 since then. Yeah, I'm not going to get over it. So they're 1-4-1 since their 7-2 record, which is really crazy. Every game they've won has been by 8 points or less. And with these Giants, they typically lose huge or very closely. There's really no in between. And with the Vikings, they've also been super sus. They had a lot of close wins, like a lot of close wins. It's actually pretty nuts that they have the record they have. And they've also had some huge losses. They literally lost 40-3 against the Cowboys. Do people remember that? The Vikings lost 40-3 against the Cowboys, okay? Who was a legit contender. They lost 24-7 against another legit contender in the Eagles in Week 2. And they were down 33-0 against the Indianapolis Colts. And they won that game somehow, which is just, I mean, oh my God. That Kirk Chains, Kirk was going nuts. Jefferson was going nuts in that gritty too. You know what I mean. And they won that game, but the fact that they were down 33-0 against the Colts says a little something about that team. I don't know. Next, Seahawks have lost all their momentum. It's pretty safe to say at this point. I mean, yeah, they lost against the Chiefs 24-10. It is the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 12-3. They're the best team in the league. I'm just putting it out there. But now they're at 7-8, and they're looking into the playoffs. When they were right there in that mix. Now it's not looking so great for them. They were 7-5, and they've lost 3 in a row. But they do have a pretty easy finish to the season against the Jets and the Rams. However, the Jets can win some games, just not with Zach Wilson. And the Rams we'll talk about the Rams in a little bit. But it also leads to the question with the Seahawks sliding, is Geno a leader for that team like we kind of thought he was a few weeks ago? Time will tell, but if they don't make the playoffs, I don't know. Because they weren't supposed to in the beginning, but who knows. However, we have another 7-8 team, but just a very different circumstance. The Steelers, who just find ways to keep on winning. They have their rookie Kenny Pickett, who is absolutely coming into his own. He's been going crazy. And it really is safe to say Tomlin deserves his flowers. Tomlin is a great coach. Every year, it seems like his team is worse and worse, and they still at least are an even record. And people are criticizing the guy, being like, oh, like they barely won playoff games. Well, that's not the point. His teams are, except for the 3 Bs that they used to have, his teams have not been great. I mean, the defenses are insane, but so he's got a rookie 24-year-old in Kenny Pickett who went to Pitt. His receivers aren't the greatest. His running backs haven't been playing up to par. The line isn't good. It's been kind of a mess, but they're 7-8. All right, but Pickett is becoming that dude. The Steelers have been 5-2 in the last 7 weeks. They do have a crucial game against the Ravens next week. I don't know if Lamar is going to be back, but that'll be a very telling game for them and for the Ravens. So yeah, the question really is, can they sneak into the playoffs yet again? Seems like every year the Steelers are sneaking into the playoffs, so I think that's the reason why Tomlin deserves the credit he gets. And another team who is also 7-8, the Packers. They are on the come up. They were just like 5-8, right? But they got a really good team, a really good win against a still solid team in the Dolphins, who are sliding and are now 8-7. They've been 4-2 since their 5-game slide. The Packers have. And they're really right there in the playoff picture. I mean, another win and another Commander's L. Packers are in. Obviously, Rodgers is still an elite QB. However, he has still been playing quite up to his, standards. But I think the coach LaFleur is finally realizing the game, at least their offense, really revolves around the run game. They have 2 elite running backs in Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, both monsters. Dillon had a great game. And now the defense is kind of finally starting to pick up the pace, and they're playing up to what they were supposed to be all season, which was literally the best defense in the league. I mean, they have superstars at every single position, so it's about time. Yeah, but they still have really tough games against the Vikings, who they lost to in week 1, and against the roaring Dan Campbell-led Lions in the final week of the season. And the Lions, they can make the playoffs too, so that's really crazy. And the Packers lost against the Lions a few weeks ago, so you'll have to see it. So now we got the updated wild card. In the AFC, the Ravens are in, and the Chargers and Dolphins are in position to keep those 6 and 7 seeds. However, the Pats, the Jets, the Steelers, and the Raiders all have chances. It's a long shot for the Raiders, not so much for the Jets, Pats, and Steelers. And also the Titans are in the mix, and they could steal that 4 spot from the Jaguars if they win. So really, that game could come down to, if you win, you're in. If you lose, see you next year. In the NFC, obviously, Cowboys are in. they're in the driver's seat for that 5th spot. The Giants and Commanders are also in the driver's seat with the final 2 positions. That would be really cool if we could see a whole division in the playoffs. I think that'd be sick, especially because it's the Commanders. Sorry about it. However, we still have the Hawks, the Lions, and the Packers fighting for that 6th or 7th seed. And also, don't count them out because the Bucs are 7 and 8. The Panthers and the Saints are both 6 and 9. And they can overtake the Bucs if they win one more game and if the Bucs lose the game. So the NFC is really wide open still. The fact that the Panthers or Saints might make the playoffs. The Panthers, the Carolina Panthers, might make the playoffs and they might win the division. Anyway. And speaking of the Bucs, it seems like Brady is the only one who cares to win on that team. The coach, coach has got to go. He ain't it. I can't think of his name. I know he's a known coach. Not looking good. The Brady-Evans connection just isn't there. I mean, Godwin just has been pretty non-existent. Rashad White seems like the only one who's really picking up any pace. Leonard Fournette hasn't been that great in recent weeks. And even saying that Brady's the only one that cares just seems a little questionable because he hasn't been playing up to par as well, but he is still Tom Brady. And, you know, the Bucs, last night they just got a game-winning drive against the Cardinals. They have another game-winning drive. Seems like 19-16 has been the score of the Bucs this year when they win games. The team is just lowly and there is no connection. But if they do make the playoffs, can and will Tom Brady turn up? Well, I mean, if the Bucs make the playoff, Tom Brady is Tom Brady. Anything's possible, but realistically, how far can that team go? Remember how I was talking about those Rams before? The 5-10 Rams. Well, they dropped 51-14 on the Broncos' head. 51-14. Baker Mayfield went nuts. Oh my God. So Mayfield went crazy. The Rams just, my God, their defense also just actually looked like a defense for once. Russ goes 15 for 27. I mean, not the worst stat line, but not the best. But, you know, the 214 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions doesn't really make that line look that great. Russ had another terrible game, probably the worst game of the year. The Broncos now 4-11. They've had 2 wins in 12 weeks since they were like 2-2 to start, or whatever it was. I don't know what's happened with that team and what goes from there. I honestly feel bad for Russ. I liked Russell Wilson. Obviously Nathaniel Hackett's going to be gone. They got to keep Russ, right? But what do they do to help this team going forward? I mean, this was supposed to be a quarterback away from a Super Bowl winning team, so who knows? And that's it. So that's what I got for week 16. Really crazy week, but I think things are really starting to shape up. Only a few teams are still in that mix. But there's some crazy scenarios that can take place between, you know, the Bucs might just lose out the division to the Panthers or the Panthers. I mean, I just said Panthers twice. To the Saints or the Panthers. And then you have the AFC South, where it's either the Titans or the Jags that are getting it in. And who knows what can happen with some of those wild card spots. Commanders could fall out. The Giants could fall out. Lions could make the playoffs, which would be crazy. The Seahawks, who are supposed to be the worst team in the league this year, probably besides the Texans, might get in. The Steelers might get in with Kenny Pickett and really not so good offense, but an amazing defense yet again. The Raiders are 6-9, but still have a shot. The Patriots look terrible. They could still make it in. The Jets are a Super Bowl team. If they have a quarterback like the Broncos last year, they could get in with an amazing defense. So we'll see. Oh, and the Packers might not even make the playoffs with the team that they have. So really crazy week. Thank you so much for watching. My name is RJ. It's been a pleasure. I never know how to end these things. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Comment who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl. Who do you think is going to go on a crazy run? Just let me know what do you think is going to happen all together, all in general. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope you have an amazing holiday. I hope you had a great Christmas and a Happy New Year. and I will see you next time.